Makeup is both therapeutic for myself and the client. Makeup connects. I've always considered makeup a form of art. Certain brushes tailor to specific details and enhancements. Makeup is a representation of personality.
Ladies, tune in, let's go. Faith and real talk, let his goodness show. Ladies unfiltered, women, faith, realness. Jennifer Jaye, fearless. Walking with God through life's ups and downs, sharing his love all around. Yeah. On PRAYzFM, where to live. The light don't dim. We talk hope, health, and trust in Him. Ladies unfiltered, keeping it true. Right after fair, keep finding you. Ladies unfiltered, keeping it true. With God at the center, keep finding you.
Welcome, beautiful people. It's so good to be back with you. I am so excited today. We have a guest host. And before we go there, though, let's just say hello to all of the hosts that are here. Our usual faces and smiles. Hello, Miss Jeannie.
Hi, I'm Jeanne Joy. I am Jennifer Jaye.
And we have a special guest. Her name is Esther Zufelts. I am so excited. I'm so excited. We're going to learn so much today. So much. And you see our colors. We all have green on. So we're going to be talking about money, honey.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And that is perfect. We want to make it rain for the women.
Yes, we do.
Amen.
Yes,
How about
we
that?
do.
We want to make it rain for the
Make it
women,
like
and
that.
we're going to include you men, but we want we want to make it rain for the women. And when we asked Miss Esther Zufelts to come on, I got so excited about what all we could talk about. So what we're going to do is have a good old-fashioned sit at girls at the kitchen table talk.
Yes. Okay.
We're going to be asking questions. We're going to be sharing experiences. We're going to be trying to get a handle on our monies. We're going to be trying to get a handle on investment. We're going to give you some information about how hard it has been for some women in our culture to date and how maybe we can improve. And we're going to give you some takeaways. So we got a lot going on here. All right. So, Miss Esther.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to read a little bit of an intro for you guys, all right? And this is what Miss Esther has given me to read about her. Esther Zufelts is a financial coach with a decade of experience dedicated to helping individuals and families gain the tools they need for financial confidence and success. She educates, empowers, and partners with her clients to achieve their short and long-term goals. She is a mother, a wife, and I found out an author.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so she can share a little bit more about that if she chooses to as well. But Esther, please share a little bit more about you if you choose to.
For sure. So I initially went to school for journalism and mass communication. For those who think that everybody in the financial world came into it wanting to be there, I lost my first job I went straight from college into my first job, which was I was an editor for an adoption information center. One day I came to work and I was told that my position was that I was being let go, and I did not know what a right to work state meant. Being that I went to school for English, I thought right to work means I get a right to work. However, I found out that logically, but then I found out that that means they don't have to give you a reason as to why you are let go.
Yep.
Which that blew my mind. A couple of weeks later, somebody at church told me there was an opening. I went to her place of employment, worked there for about 5 years, and I said I will never have that experience again where somebody can let me go. So I got my master's because I wanted to understand finance. So I got my MBA, and I learned nothing. I came out with I came out with some knowledge. Thank God my dad paid for it because I would still be paying for my education till this point. And while I was at that spot, I had all three of my children. And when I got laid off from there after 5 years, even though my department was making the most money, the state didn't want to pay for it. So I went. We had built a house in Buckeye, and I had worked in Gilbert. So we were that was a long distance. Back and forth. That was a long distance. So I said, hey, I can find a job now that I'm equipped.
Yes.
Right.
I went from Buckeye to Gilbert to Scottsdale to everywhere. And there were two reasons that I couldn't get a job. They said I was overqualified or I did not have experience. So I was like, well, God, what was the point of that?
You off? Oh, yes.
How do I get experience if nobody will give me a chance?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but then I'm overqualified.
There you
go. So I ended up being a stay-at-home mom, which I had never wanted to be because I had all these goals and dreams, as we women do. And I stayed at home, and there was a day that my husband was on lockdown. He's a corrections officer, and I couldn't reach him, and it scared me. And I had 3 kids, and all we had was his income. So after when he came back, eventually I said, hey, I need you to tell me, do we have life insurance? Because how would I survive?
Right.
How would I survive with 3 kids? Not working. Apparently, I'm not workable. So he said, okay, I think $75,000 would I have. I don't know about you ladies. How much is $75,000?
Right.
How far can that take you?
Come
How many
on.
years?
3 kids too.
Come on.
3 kids.
Honey.
Right.
3 kids.
And this is one of the things we were kind of talking about on the way here, right, Miss Jeanne Joy?
Yes.
So this is gonna be some good stuff, guys. Go
Exactly.
ahead, Miss Esther.
So I told him that was not enough. I dabbled a little bit in life insurance. I did not like the vehicle that I was in because of the way they sold life insurance. So I was not about it. But then I heard that my cousin had left his 6-figure job to work for this company. And I was like, hey, you know what? You can get us life insurance. So he came because he was just learning, came with his coach. And I was like, hey, we've called everybody.
Right.
We just want life insurance because all the other companies said if we wanted a financial plan, which is what my dad, who lives in Nigeria, said. He said, you guys need a financial plan because we lost our house. We lost our house because we didn't know anything about money. So we were pouring all our money because we want to pay this house off. So every extra dollar we had, we were throwing it into the house. And then I lost my job the second time and we couldn't sustain it. So we ended up losing our house and moving in with a friend. And I'm Nigerian, and we went to a Nigerian church. Well, it's an American church, but a lot of Nigerians. And everybody knew we were living with my friend. And she's a single woman, 5-bedroom, 3-bath. And then here's our family of 5 hoboing into her house. And hey, can we live here for 3 months?
Goodness.
3 months ended up being 19 months. Did we do anything with the extra $1,000 we were saving? No, we spent it. We went on trips to Mexico. We went to Mallorca. Till today, I wonder what she was feeling when she saw us going to all these places and we don't have money to pay to live somewhere. So it's kind of embarrassing in hindsight, but the thing that it taught me is that we got the life insurance. But the thing is that was interesting to me and why I am here today is because the way that I was approached was a way that I wasn't made to feel bad about the decisions that we had made, even though they weren't good decisions, but we were educated. We were given the tools, the education to help us understand this is why you are where you are. The reason you're robbing Peter to pay Paul is because you have a $700 deficit. I have a sibling who worked in the banking system, and she and her husband sat down with us. They're like, we don't understand where the debt. We know there's a deficit. We just can't figure it out. So when they did a financial plan for us and the debt elimination plan and all those things, they said, if we can show you a month and a day that you'll be out of debt, how would that feel? I was like, that'd be great. We can get out of this debt.
And have a definite date.
A definite month and year to be out of debt. So I was like, great. So we got the plan, and I said, wait. Before you give me the plan, a couple of companies said that in order to give us a plan, we need to give them $500 or roll over $50,000. I didn't understand what a rollover was, so I was just like, I don't have $50,000. I don't know anybody who's died and left me $50,000.
What does
So
that even look like?
I don't. So I was like, in $500, we barely have $200. Like, so we said, then they were like, no, we do this for middle class families because we know that there's a gap A lot of people are rich and they keep getting richer, but middle class families don't have anybody to guide them.
That's right.
So
That's
I
right.
wanted. There
So
were three
true.
things that I learned from that. That in order to be financially, I guess I don't want to say comfortable. In order to be financially sound, you need financial education. You
Yes.
need some kind of financial education.
Yes.
And then you need a plan. Because you can have the information, but if you
Amen.
can't apply it,
Come on.
you
Right.
can't utilize
That's
it.
right.
Without works.
Exactly.
dead.
And people always say, "Oh, knowledge is power." No, knowledge with the using the information that you have,
Say it.
applying it
So
is
Say it.
power.
Applying
So
it.
I found out that we had a lot of knowledge from
Yes.
different things, and we weren't applying them because we were
Yes.
traveling and doing
Okay.
things, and we didn't have money.
Okay.
But when we actually figured out the way to apply them with a plan, and then we had a coach who, anytime my husband got a bonus, it's like, we know what we used to do with it. But now it's like, hey, we have this bonus. What should we do with it? And they reminded us, like the
So
Holy
good.
Spirit reminded us,
Come
hey, you
on.
know what? You said you wanted to do this for your parents in their
Right.
retirement years. You said you want to leave your children an inheritance.
Yes.
Proverbs 13:22. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So
There it
for me,
is.
I'm like,
Yes.
what
There it
we're
is.
doing is not doing that.
That's right.
So for us, we're like, we want to be there. And the lady came in and delivered our life insurance policy, and I said, hey, "Can you show me how much you made?" And then she's like, "Well, sure." And she showed me, and I was like, "And you're helping people?" And we didn't give you $1. All we did was pay for our life insurance,
Oh, okay.
and then I started my investment, like $50. But I was like, you know what? All the other companies wanted more than $50 a month to start, and you'll let me start at 50. Then I'm
Right.
good. I said, how come not enough people know this? I
So
said,
true.
how do I get into this place where I'm able to help people so they don't have my story? I don't want my story repeated by anybody.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So she said, we will pay for your licenses. We'll give you all the guidance, and in time, you too will build a business. And I was
Look
like,
at
okay.
that.
And that's where I started back in November 2015, and here I am now.
Wow.
God has an interesting way of directing our path.
Yes, it does.
We all agree on
Yeah.
that.
Yes, we do.
So that's where I am today. And,
Wow. And I guess for me, I was trying to remember how we met.
the way we met is you posted somebody, a lady named Wante, I don't remember. She has a nonprofit, and she wrote something. She said she was collecting, like, I don't know if it was some kind of, I don't know, like elastic something. And then you said you had it. And then I was just like having this, I was watching this conversation. I said,
yes.
what? So I said, Miss Feek, where do you live? And you said, oh, in the West Valley. I said, I live in the West Valley. You like, I live in the West Valley. I'm not trying to drive all the way to Phoenix. So I said, she's like me. I said, hey, so then I called you. You sent me your number. You called me, and then you said, hey, are you serious about taking this stuff to the church? And I said, we go to the same church.
Yes,
So she came to my house, and of course I had to give my plug. She stood at the door, didn't want to come in, because she didn't know who I was. So I was like, so she said, I said, hey, plug, before you leave, I'm in financial services. If you're looking
She
for
sure
somebody
did.
who can help you with your retirement, education, or somebody, all I'm looking for is an opportunity to share with other people.
Absolutely.
As I'm sure you're doing fine, and you have your own person. And she said, okay, give me a card. And I ran and got my card and gave it to her. And then one day
All
she said, hey,
right.
I'd love to see what you do. We sat down on Zoom, talked about it,
We
and she's
sure
like, you know
did.
what? And she was in a good situation. But
Thank
she said,
you, Jesus.
she said, if I ever have an opportunity where you can share with people, I will let you know. And that
Here we
is
go.
And here we are.
Yes, thank you, Esther. Thank you,
Yay.
God. Yes.
Yes.
This is such an important topic for us all. And with the current situation in our climate today, oh man, it's anxiety written to a certain degree if you're not in a good place or comfortable. And even a mindset. You need a certain mindset
For sure.
too to have your finances in a good place. And life just, what we say, life be life. And things can happen, people, you all know out there, things can happen at a drop of a dime. So we want, Ladies Unfiltered, want you to be successful. We want you to be in a better place, get in a better place, be proactive, apply some of this information that you're going to get today. So, Miss Esther, unless the ladies here have some questions, let's follow what we got. We got time. Come on, let's do this.
I think we probably got to go to a break, and then we'll
No,
be
not
back.
already. No. We're there already.
We're there already.
Well, you know what, folks? Come on back. All right, we're going to break. All right. See you soon.
Blessed is the one who believes that God will fulfill the promises he keeps. I believe it, cause he said it. When he performs it, I will see it. Ain't no doubt in my mind, cause every time he comes through, it's clutch all the time. My faith can't be shaken, not I. He's come through too much for me not to bless him all the time. With your hand, how will be thy name, Lord, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Thy will be done. I thought, with your hand, how will be thy name, Lord, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Thy will be done. On earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and lead us not. That's what you said, but deliver us from all evil. From all evil. Ain't no doubt in my mind that thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. Thing can't be shaken, not I. Cause you keep proving to be great, strong, and mighty. With your hand, how will be thy name, Lord, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Lord, I pray that you hear me. Thy will be done, be done. Not my will, but your will. Be done, thy be done. Every day of my life, thy will be done, be done. Father, I pray every single day, more of you, less of me. Your will is what I need. Let thy will be done. 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 Thy will be done. In my life. Thy will be done. You pay the price. Thy will be done. The ultimate sacrifice. Thy will be done. Yeah, yeah. Thy will be done. Not my will. Thy will be done. Your will I will fulfill. Thy will be done. Thy will be done. Thy will be done. Yeah.
All right, thank you guys for coming back and joining us. I hope you enjoyed that music at the break. It was Thy Will Be Done by Danielle Stephens, and you can download that on all digital media outlets. So I hope that you will go do that. And if you want to watch the music video, it is on YouTube. And we are here with Esther, and she is telling us about finances. I am interested in several things you just said, but I want to know about your book.
Well, my book is not anything related to finance.
Oh,
I wrote
that's a surprise.
I wrote 2 children's books, and then one book on it's not a fun topic, on sexual abuse. So it was written to women to give them hope, telling their stories via poetry, and then giving them some encouragement at the end. So
Wonderful.
Yes.
Very necessary. We'll type those out in the comments when the show goes live so that you guys have the names of those books if you are interested in that. But I will hand it off back to Miss V so we can talk about finances.
Yes. Oh, y'all, you know I'm hyped. So we are back. We've talked about how we've met, what credentials Miss Esther has. So let's get to some real stuff, some meat. I'm going to let you start off wherever you want to start off, Esther, okay? And then we'll chime in and ask questions or elaborate, okay?
for sure. So one of the things that I find really fascinating is that the disparity between what women make versus what men make. Some people think it's for every dollar a man makes, we make 50 cents or 20 cents, which doesn't really jive. But roughly what they're saying is that 82 for $1 that a man makes, a woman makes $82. I mean, 82 to 84 cents.
Okay.
And some people see that as, oh, it's just 15 cents. But that, when you look at it and you say, okay, if a man was to make $50,000,
Right.
that would be $41,500 for a woman.
Big difference.
That's a big difference.
Yes, it is.
To put it even into more perspective, if a man's making 100,000, a woman is making 83,000.
Yeah.
So
That's a big
then you're
yes.
feeling it.
Yeah.
So you're feeling it. So
Big
you could be an executive, you can be anything, but if you're not getting the same ability to
Right.
get there,
Right.
and then we have longevity. Longevity is our issue.
Right.
Women
Oh,
live 5 to 6 years longer than a man.
Absolutely.
than most
on.
men.
Absolutely. Yes.
And the thing that we find is that with that, women are the caregivers.
Yes.
We're the ones that, our hearts are on a sleeve. You take care of your mother, your sister, your brother, whomever.
Yes.
So some people go part-time.
Right.
They have to take care of the kids.
That's
Yes.
right.
Some people become stay-at-home moms, so then they
Yes.
don't have any income. Then you have those who go back into the workforce, but they find out they don't have the skills that they left. So then they have to go back to education.
Right.
So then there's taking care of the kids. There's the caregiving. There's the educational gap. And we find ourselves in a place where at retirement age, we don't have the funds. We're not able to retire comfortably.
Yes.
And what I've seen in my years of being in this field is women will come to me, women of color, women, anybody from any background. I had one lady who came during the pandemic, and she was so excited. She's like, I have all this money to invest and I want to retire on it. And when I heard her story, her husband had worked most of their marriage life. He didn't share the finances as far as what is where and all that. So when they got divorced, she went into the workforce, worked about 11 years, and then she was like, I'm ready to retire. So I'm thinking, okay, we have something to work with. She
Right.
came with $58,000.
Oh.
Oh,
And this is the most money she'd ever had in her
bless
life.
her heart.
Oh,
So
my
for her,
goodness.
I was like, Lord, how does this happen? And she said, I just, one day the guys came with some paperwork I should fill out and they matched this and they matched that. I don't know. But she's like, this is a lot. She's like, I want to put it in my bank account and just kind of live off of it. How long can you live on $58,000?
Not at all. Not very long.
No.
So I was
Depending on your
like, so this
lifestyle.
is really an issue.
Yes.
Because I just assumed that if you work for somebody, I knew they didn't guide you, but I thought in certain situations they guide you. And I found out that this is an issue. And that's when I doubled down and I was like, women need to know this.
Yes,
Women need to be
yes.
informed.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We need to take more control of our finances.
Right.
And then what I was finding is then I was having people who I had long before. They were clients and they were married, and the women, hey, let's sit down and talk. Oh, my husband takes care of that.
Yeah.
Well, let me say, oh, my
See?
husband take care of that. I don't know anything. Girl,
Yes,
babe,
we
babe,
talk
come
about
take care of
that.
it. And then they get divorced.
Okay.
Hey, what now?
And not because they intended to, because they were in love. They had all
Right.
these kids, but
Aren't
we
we
don't
all?
know the future.
Okay.
Aren't we all in
We don't
love?
know
What
the
happens?
future.
Oh my
we
goodness.
don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
You know
if the
it.
love gets lost,
Right.
or if the person
Or it could
passed
be an
away,
illness or
it's
something.
something.
Or passed away. Yeah.
and that's the issue. So then you don't know the logins. So if something happens and your
Oh, my
spouse passes away, you
goodness.
don't have the logins. You don't know where the life insurance
Absolutely.
contract
In this
is.
day and
You don't know what
age.
coverage you had. So you can't even
Right.
prepare for the funeral or anything like that. Then there's also the fact that they don't know what the estate plans are.
Yes.
Then they don't know what
Right.
debt they have. So now you have a shared name. So their burden is your burden now, and
Okay.
you don't even know. That's when
That
you
is
find out that they
correct.
had a house
Okay.
that they never left, that they never gave away or sold, and they're
Okay.
still paying on it.
Yes.
So for me, I'm finding that women are we're not equipped, and I think I don't know if we're timid. I don't know if any of you guys can tell me. Why would women not?
So Esther, let me ask you though, because you're a financial coach. So if I wanted to be coached, do I just reach out and say, hey, here's my situation. What can we do? Do I have to like spill the beans with all the account information, or
No.
do I have to pay for a consultation? Like, walk me through if I'm starting at step one and help our audience understand where do we go? What do we do?
So I don't know how everybody else does it. I know how I do it. And my thing is, I come from a place of experience. If somebody had not come to me trying to
Okay.
sell me not sell, I looked for it, but they came and they tried to sell me life insurance, but then added on the fact that I could have a financial plan, I wouldn't be where I am today because it
Okay.
would have just been life insurance and that's it. I'm still alive. My husband's still alive,
Right.
and that's it.
Right.
But for me, I followed the rule that the person that showed me, where basically it's like, hey, I heard about you from so and so,
Okay.
and I'm just looking to get to a place I want to be able to retire comfortably, or I'm
Okay.
trying to get to Spain in 5 years, or I've had people who just said, hey, I just need you to show me. I want to my what do you call it? my plan is to, in the next 5 years, I want to visit 3 continents. So then I say, okay, let's meet. And I said, my assignment to you is go find out what it costs to get there, what it costs to stay there, and then look at all the excursions you're going to do. And then coming back, and then we come up with a plan. You want to do it in 5 years? Then this is what we need to do. And then we stay accountable. I say to the much as you want me to keep you accountable, let's do that. So if it's every 3 months, 6 months, a year, you let me know. Because it's at the end of the day, it's not my plan. It's not my want. It's your want.
Right.
Yes.
So then I coach them through it. Hey, or they tattle on themselves sometimes. Hey, I didn't do this. Hey, at the end of the day, your vision, not mine.
That's
All I can do
correct.
is help you get there. So that's it.
I like that though, Esther, because that is very much like a coach that we see in sports.
And that's right.
That is I need accountability. First of all, what's the goal? As you said, are we talking retirement? I mean, somebody in their 20s might not be thinking about retirement, but maybe you can help them to see, hey, we got to think about that too. But also, what's the goal? Is the goal vacations? Is the goal to get out of paycheck to paycheck living? Is the goal retirement? Is the goal buying a business? Is the goal, like, what is the goal? Establish that, and then I'm going to help you get there from that goal to where we are today. Here's what needs to happen in the interim. So I love the coaching and the accountability aspect. As you said, how much do I need to meet with you to help you see how to get from where you are to where you're trying to go? So I love that.
And I experienced that with her.
Okay.
When I was trying to do a little cleanup and tune up on my own finances, she was just like, "This is your plan.
Yes.
I will accommodate you via Zoom, via meeting,
I
and
love
having
it.
lunch
I
or
love
whatever it
it.
might be." So I was just kind of like, "Okay, cool." I was kind of nonchalant about it, but she will all stay in contact. She is good for her word.
I love
people.
that.
She is good for her word. If you're interested in meeting with her,
I love that.
I do want to bring her back a little bit in terms of what you were saying about the disparity. For me, my career has been mostly with the state and state government. So I felt like I had pretty much parity with the men that I worked with, my colleagues, and I pretty much worked with men. So with the state government, I felt like I was making pretty good money with them and the good benefits, But I also would listen because I would listen. They're talking about, yeah, we get this and we get that, and I need to invest it here. And I'm gonna invest here too.
Go, Missy.
I'm gonna do my contributions and matching too.
All right.
I learned a lot from listening to the men on my job.
Okay.
How they were doing their finances to what I wanted to do. And to be honest too, as when I was newly married, I had very much the idyllic idea of putting everything together. I wanted that lovely marriage, and we're one. Our monies are one. I'm gonna be taken care of. Yeah. Okay, right. Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, did I get a rude awakening, okay? And so I learned from that experience as well that I needed to be more on the money.
Yes.
And what's going on in my home and be aware. And I thank God, too, for my education as well, okay? I wasn't like a mathematician or anything, but I can count some dollars.
All right. All
Okay.
right.
Now, if 1 + 1 was equaling -0, I was like, oh, wait. What's up, buddy? What's up? But anyway, from that first experience, now I had a second marriage. I did not want to be anyone's mother either. Because I tended to be the saver of my family. Don't you find that often too? There are spenders and there's savers in a relationship or in a family. And I tended to be the saver. And then I was on with the books, and this got to be paid, and at this certain time we need this much. So, and we were both making good money. That was a good thing. But then when you got a spender, somehow or another, the plan goes awry. And you see money going from one account, from another account, to account where nobody's supposed to be touching. Okay. Yes. And I said, you know what? I do not want to be a mother. I'm a wife. Not to him. Okay. To my children, yes, I want to be a mother. But you also need to sit here with me and do the books. So that when you say to me, oh, we got to pay that again. Yeah, lights come, has to be paid every month.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they cost this much, brother. Okay. So I think that we need to sit down together and talk about our finances. And I like having my own little money.
Your stash.
Yes. Is that something that women talk about or no?
No,
Much?
I mean, when I've sat down recently, I'm finding that couples, they have a his, hers, and ours.
Okay.
And when I first came into business, I was like, you're married and you love Jesus, you should have it all together. But I'm telling people, I'm like, hey,
I love your little angel
because
voice.
even when I did life insurance, we'd have the policies together, and I'm finding it doesn't work. Because I had the most recent one was a husband, he left his wife, and I said, hey, I know you and your wife are not in a good place. Just keep it there so that at least it saves her money, and then you can cancel yours. And he canceled it, and now hers is much more expensive because they got it when they were so young. So those are the kind of things that you see, and it's sad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I do what you said about figure out how much you're going to need. So I have this little side hustle at Target. Everybody has a little side hustle I feel like these days.
Yeah.
But I can work on demand. So basically I just pick up shifts when I want to. So like when I go have a mission trip, then I say it's going to cost $5,000 to go to Africa. So how many times do I have to work? How many hours do I have to put in to make that much money by this date or whatever? And as customers come through, you make friends. People come to my line, even if they have to wait because they're like, oh, Jennifer's working. I'm going to go to her line. Oh. And yes, it's fun. I've met lots of cool people, but several I've told that to, like, well, what do you do with the money you make here? And I'm like, I travel. That's what this money's for.
That's right.
And I've told several of the college students, because I work at the one by ASU, and they're like, oh, that's really smart. Oh, like you could do that. Like make a plan. And I think that's the cusp of all of this is make a plan. You've got to have a plan in order to implement it and reach your goals. You can have the goal, but if you're not doing anything
To get there.
and that's where you come in, because that's so important to have somebody that you're accountable to and that knows the way, because you've been there. You've lost a house. You know what it feels like. You've lost a job. You've had to do things you didn't necessarily want to do when you wanted to work but couldn't find work. And so you know what people are feeling. I feel like you have that empathy for folks too, that I've been there and I don't want you to have to go there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hate to end it, but
Yes.
She's been the spoiler today. Really, she's been the pay attention.
Yes, keeping us accountable, right? So, yes, we have so much more to talk about.
so much more.
So much more. And we are just so glad that everyone is tuning in
Yes.
and listening to this. And we're going to give you so much more later, okay? So we want you to just stay with us, and we'll be talking more about finances and some real nuts and bolts, all right, at another time. So at this time, we're going to say...
I
From
Ladies
Unfiltered,
where real life
meets real faith.
Ladies Unfiltered, keeping it true. With God at the center, keep finding you.